Turn that light on. Yeah. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Vince Pass in the building. Uh, what's up, everyone? Thank y'all for tuning in for tonight's show. The Chop. You know what we get here, we chop it up right now. You feel what I'm saying? Shout out to my engineer. You know what I'm saying, brother Munir made the hot beat for the chop. You feel what I'm saying? Yo, it's a rainy night out here in Cincinnati tonight, everybody. You know what I mean? So, if you got Wi-Fi issues, things like that, if you're in the Cincinnati, Ohio area, y'all apologize. You can catch the rebroadcast of this on YouTube. We're on YouTube right now. I got a special guest that'll be chiming in with me in about 4 minutes right now. You feel what I'm saying? We are definitely talking about, the overturning of Bill Cosby verdict tonight. And I want to just touch on some things. What that could mean for I gotta say it, black men in America, because every time something gets overturned, especially when it happens to a black man, that new laws and new things start getting affected. So I'm just curious to hear you guys' opinion on things. You feel what I'm saying? Shout out to everyone that's out there. Like I said, you can catch the broadcast on YouTube. I'm on Twitch right now. You go to www.youtube.com / Vince Pass, or you can go to Twitch, www.twitch.tv .com / Vince Pass. So yeah, you go there. You catch me on FB right now. You feel me? Yo, like and share. You dig what I'm saying? Let's chop it up. Let's talk about it for a minute. You feel what I'm saying? Man, it was really wild today that when this whole thing came out. When I heard about it, I thought that it was really honestly a rumor. You know what I mean? When this whole thing took place, you feel what I'm saying? And so now that it's actually true, and here we are with it going, it went worldwide. Now we have a lot of black backlash going on right now. Oh man, definitely. Shout out to my people in the Middle East. Omar Lewis, Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum to all my peoples in the Middle East right now. Like and share this, you dig what I'm saying? But we're gonna talk about it tonight. So, like I said, it was a rumor when it first started. You know what I'm saying? People couldn't believe that they think that this thing was happening. And all of a sudden, it snowballed real quick. And it was like, yo, Bill Cosby's out of jail. Bill Cosby is processed out. Bill Cosby is on the way home. Bill Cosby is at his front door. Bill Cosby is taking a nap. And Bill Cosby will be speaking to you guys live sometime soon. He will give a statement on what took place, and he'll talk about the situation at hand. First thing, before I start this broadcast, I want to first say that we have my guest, he just popped in. I want to give a shout out to all the people who are victims of sexual assault, sexual abuse, by any way, means, shape, or form. This show tonight is not to demean, degrade, cast light away from anyone who has been a victim of sexual assault, because it is a heinous crime, and I believe that anyone that commits that particular crime, they need to be prosecuted. At the end of the day, we still have laws that we have to follow in order for that to happen. I'm gonna bring on my guest. You know what I'm saying? No other than my dude, my guy, Christopher McElvey Esquire, attorney at law, straight out of Jersey. But he originally from Brooklyn. So what's going on, Chris? How you doing this evening?
What's going on, Vince? How's everybody doing?
Man, everything is good. It's good. What's going on, Cassie? I got people that's on Instagram right now that can actually hear the broadcast through my microphone. So I want to get into it real quick. I want to touch on something real fast because I know we talked earlier, and I know that you are time permitted right now. So because my girl, she gonna pop up on the screen in a second if she ain't asleep. Shout out to Cassette. So I want to talk.
Nah, she's in the room.
All right, that's what's up, man. I want to talk about the Fifth Amendment for a minute, Chris. Explain, if you can, give people. We'll give the long short of it. You did what I'm saying. let everybody know what the Fifth Amendment actually covers.
The Fifth Amendment guarantees the right to a grand jury. It forbids double jeopardy, and it protects against self-incrimination. Double jeopardy is basically you can't be charged for for the same crime twice, and self-incrimination is basically what it says. Is you can't be forced to testify on something that may incriminate you.
All right. So
in the whole.
Yeah, Chris.
Go ahead, Vince. Well, I mean, I know everybody. The big news today is the Bill Cosby. The Bill Cosby case. He's getting released, pretty much based on the whole, Fifth Amendment. Basically, what happened was he had a civil trial years ago or whatever, and during his deposition testimony, he incriminated himself. And they used that. Well, he had an agreement during that civil trial that that testimony and that deposition could not be used in any criminal trial because it was self-incriminated himself. And that little loophole, that's how Bill Cosby's a free man today.
So what I want to put up here right now, I'm about to put on the screen right now the actual breakdown of the Fifth Amendment in its entirety, and I'm going to read it off because you gave the short version, and so I want to give the legal version because you gave the short version to it, so they can have a better understanding of what they're looking at. It says the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution of the United States provides. Now, mind you, this law was written in 1789 and it was ratified in 1922. No person shall be held for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless on a presentment or indictment of a grand jury, except in cases arising in land or naval forces or in a militia, when in actual service in time. So basically, that means that you have to be you have to be in the military at that time, if something like that was to take place, or war or public danger. Shall any person be subject for the same offense to be put twice in double jeopardy, life or limb, nor shall be compelled in any criminal case to be a witness against himself, nor be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of the law, nor shall private property be taken for public use without just compensation. Now, for everyone that just seen that, all right, Chris broke down earlier what the Fifth Amendment is, all right? Broke down what happened with the Bill Cosby case today, all right? Now, like I said, my brother is actually kind of pressed for time right now, and the weather's kind of crazy, so if he just fell off, so his phone just dropped. So for everyone, shout out to my man Ed, for everyone that's on the stream right now, listen, you have to understand something about this Fifth Amendment. The Fifth Amendment, all right, here you go, he's back right now.
I lost you for a minute, Vince.
All right, you back, brother. So here goes my question for you right now. My question for you is, we know that the Fifth Amendment covers a big area. You feel what I'm saying? And so what do you think now will happen to states who may have committed prosecution misconduct? Because basically that's what this is, a prosecution misconduct. Am I correct? Okay, and so what do you think? Do you think other states will be in a rush at this point?
I think going forward.
Go ahead, Chris, because we haven't. I know the Wi-Fi is kind of stalling right now. So go ahead and finish your point.
Yeah, but I think going forward, a lot of states are going to revisit this whole Fifth Amendment. Cases that's involved in the Fifth Amendment. And I also think a lot of inmates who are in prison right now are probably in the library reaching out to their attorney and they get their case because they feel like this case may be similar to bills. A lot of states going look at a lot of these Fifth Amendment cases and see if there's misconduct in those states as well. Terms in a lot of states going forward.
Definitely, for sure. You know, even in the whole Central Park case, their due process was violated. A lot of these overturned cases that's been happening over the last couple of months, actually couple of years, especially in this Black Lives Matter movement. Many of these cases have been overturned. There's been a lot of guys who was committed for life sentences who cases have been overturned, and all because their due process was violated. And so again, you know, we're gonna get this breakdown of what due process is. Hey Chris, I appreciate you coming on, you know what I'm saying, for 5 minutes, dropping your mind, Ron. I want you to tell everybody where they can find you at, tell them what you practice, and then, you know, we just gonna keep on rocking.
All right, Christopher Mack, my website is cmcattorney.com. I'm licensed New York, New Jersey, DC. I practice real estate, estate planning. I do some personal injury. And you can catch me on Facebook and Instagram, cmcattorney.com. All right, Vince, thanks for having me, brother. I love what you're doing. I love what you're doing out here. Keep doing it.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you, Sunni, yo.
All right, brother. Be good.
Thank you, brother. I'll talk to you, man.
All right, Vince.
All right, peace. All right, everybody. That was my man, Big Chris McElvey. You did what I'm saying. Sunni College at Old Westbury, one of the finest attorneys in New York and New Jersey. Like you said, he's in Washington, D.C. as well. You catch him on his website is cmc.com. All right. You catch him, or you can catch him on Facebook as well. But like I was saying, kind of giving a breakdown of everything that is going on for you guys to have a better understanding of what the law is. Because a lot of times we go into these things not paying attention to what the law is. So we talked about what the Fifth Amendment is and what it covered. And the reason why I want us to go through step by step with this is because I don't want anyone not to there you go, Sunni old maid, baby. I don't want no one to misunderstand that. Yeah, first of all, I love Bill Cosby. I'm always gonna be a Bill Cosby fan. Okay. Regardless of what he did, his TV career and his personal life is two totally different things for me. You did what I'm saying? I love Bill Cosby, what he did as a philanthropist. Guess what? We all make mistakes. That's just what it is, end of the day. But we're going to talk about that later. So, like I said, you know what I mean? I talked to you about the Fifth Amendment, and Chris summed up what the Fifth Amendment was, okay? No person shall be deprived of life, liberty without the due process of the law, nor shall private property be taken from them for public use without just compensation, okay? Now, I'm going to flash something else across the screen for you guys right now. What are the 4 process procedures? Okay, because people are so much in an uproar about this thing right now, and I don't blame them. You should be upset about it, okay? But in order for you to be upset about the fact that a verdict was overturned, okay, you have to understand why it was overturned. It was nothing that Bill Cosby didn't go to court saying that, I was not wrong for doing what I did, but I was told one thing and another thing took place. This happens in law all the time. This happens in the judicial system all the time, where people are prosecuted wrongly and unjustly. Okay, I'm not just talking about black men, I'm talking about white men. It just so happened that black men 9 times out of 10 are usually the ones who catch the short end of that stick. So a person has the right to present evidence, including the right to call a witness, the right to know opposing evidence. Also, they have a right to cross-examine adverse witnesses, a decision based exclusively on the evidence presented. So basically what that's saying is this, is that you have a right to all 4 of them things, okay? But you also have a right to be to be judged on what the evidence is, not for anything else to be brought in. But I also want to read something else too. There's actually 10 of them. You have a right to an unbiased tribunal, okay? You have a right to have a notice of the proposed actions and the grounds asserted for it. So when you get an indictment, that's exactly what it is. That piece of paper, it's a notice of the proposed action against you and what grounds that they have on you, and letting you know that, hey, this is what this is about, and we're breaking it down for you right here, okay? Number 3, you have an opportunity to present reasons why the proposed actions should not be taken against you. This is when they ask you, at this point, do you plead guilty or not guilty? I plead not guilty. So now it's on the burden of the state to prove this. But you also have to show that why these actions should not be taken against you. Okay? Of course, we did 4, 5, and 6 earlier, but we talked about the right to present evidence, including the right to call witnesses, the right to know opposing evidence, the right to cross-examine adverse witnesses. Number 7, a decision based exclusively on the evidence presented. We talked about that. Now, here's 8, 9, and 10. You have an opportunity to be represented by counsel. Okay? Number 9, it is the requirement that the court prepare a record of the evidence presented. So you can have your evidence, and they have to show it to you. They can't hide it from you. They have things, and this is where the water get muddy. When you have prosecutors who are supposedly have, we got a smoking gun, or we have somebody that's going to testify. They have all these time frames and things like that, all these loopholes for the prosecutor, but it's never anything for the defense who's trying to defend themselves against charges that can be or cannot be true. Then number 10, a requirement that the court prepare written findings of fact and reasons for its decision. This is what the Supreme Court did today of Pennsylvania. They prepared a document basically saying to the court, to Bill Cosby's defense team, and to the prosecutor who chose to prosecute this case after it was told by Bill Cosby in 2005 that you won't be prosecuted for this because I will have a hard enough time to prosecute you based upon the fact that you can incriminate yourself. So let's go ahead, set yourself up for the civil lawsuit, and the criminal lawsuit we won't even touch because I know you're not going on the stand. Pro One chose to go ahead and try to charge him anyway. So then in the whole crux of it, in the Me Too movement, that began to happen. So now we got the Me Too movement that's going on throughout this entire time. Okay? So let's talk about due process for a second. This is the 14th Amendment. This is where his rights were violated. The due process is a legal requirement that requires the state to respect all the legal rights owed to a person. Due process balances the power of the state and protects the individual from the power of the state. Okay? So let's get an understanding of this right now. Now, mind you, everything that I'm talking to you about, I'm breaking it down into simple terms. Let's be clear. Okay? Now, when you have the right, you have a right to an attorney. You have a right to, to ask for the evidence. You have a right to cross-examine. You have a right of all these things. But you also have a right, once an agreement is made, you have the right to hold whoever promised you or made an agreement with you, written or verbal. You have a right to hold them to that. So anytime you're in a courtroom and the judge will ask you before you are sentenced, okay, for whatever crime, the first thing that he asks you, were you promised anything? The moment you say, yes, you were, approach the bench. I want to know what this man was promised. And the moment that something is proven that you were promised, the whole game changes at that point. Okay? The same way Bill was promised something. Okay? Bill was promised that he would not be prosecuted for this case, and he was. Now, again, ladies and gentlemen, please, ladies, especially ladies, I will never, ever, ever downplay the fact of what Bill Cosby did because he was wrong. Period. He said it out of his own mouth. This is what he did. Okay? This is what he did. So, the judges wrote that they weighed different remedies, including having another trial for Cosby, but felt there was only one proper remedy. Because the remedy was he went to court. He was charged under a civil case. Now, mind you, right to due process. You did what I'm saying? You got to understand, Fifth Amendment. He was charged already under civil law. He can't be charged for the same thing twice under criminal law, and that's double jeopardy. So if anybody was ever charged for the same thing twice, that's double jeopardy. And mind you, if you don't say anything, if your attorney doesn't say anything about it, you need to fire that dude flat out. Okay, so let's be clear about that. Okay, so when high court judges say the remedy is both severe and rare but warranted, yo, you think they sat up there and said, yo, listen, we really don't want to let this guy go because he did commit a crime. At the end of the day, they have to follow the letter of the law. And the letter of the law says, no man shall be deprived life or liberty or property without due process of the law. And because the due process was violated, okay, it shifted the balance of power towards the state to prosecute. Now, Angela Rose, who is the president for Promoting Awareness Victim Empowerment, for people who have ever been sexually assaulted, who have been sexually abused in any kind of way, you can reach out to this organization right here, Promoting Awareness Victim Empowerment. As in told to NPR, it is sending shockwaves through our survivor community. Yo, I mean, you have to understand, guys, ladies and gentlemen, that this thing right here is for real. This is not a situation where, it just affected Amanda Constant. It's not just a situation where it just affected her. It affected all the other women, and then not only that, it also affects other people who may have suffered from a sexual abuse situation, not necessarily through Bill Cosby, but also it could have affected them by some other means. You feel what I'm saying? So we have to understand that this particular overturning of the ruling sends a message. And me personally, I don't think it sends a negative message. All right. So, I won't sit up here and say that he wasn't wrong because he admitted to it. But it doesn't send a negative message that his case was overturned to me in reference to Bill Cosby. No. What it says to me, all right, is that, look, no matter how heinous a crime is, all right, you got to follow the law, period. No matter how much we wanted Derek Chauvin to spend life in prison, okay? He was prosecuted under the letter of the law. He was only allowed to get a certain amount of time based upon not just his crime, but how many times he has been in trouble with the law. Because you have states that go by point system. You have states that go by that. And so if he doesn't have a certain level of points, he's not going to get the amount of time that you think that he is going to get. You dig what I'm saying? So we have to understand that every state is different. And this is why every state honestly has a revised code. Ohio has 2 Ohio revised code books. They have 2, that the Ohio law, then they have Ohio revised code. So you obviously ask yourself, when you go into the court in Ohio, what book are they actually using? And in Ohio lawyers have to study 2 books. They have to keep 2 books. Literally. So if you're not understanding, the system in which you're in, my suggestion to you is stop doing crime. Because you need to study this stuff. And then you need to have a level of awareness about what due process is, what the 14th Amendment says. You need to have an understanding what the 5th Amendment says. You need to know these things because your rights, or somebody rights can be violated, and you're sitting there just arguing, yelling, and screaming, and you're not paying attention to what's going on. The rights can be violated from the time of the arrest. So you got to be clear on what's going on. You got to take time to study this stuff. That's why it's always good to have at least one attorney in your family. All right, one attorney in your family. All right. So if you got a cousin that's in jail or something, listen, you need to tell them, look, take time and read the law book. But then again, we were getting too smart, and guess what? They took law books out of the library. They took books out of the prison. So that's another story for another day. So again, there's no way that the United States Supreme Court would take this case because the court says you cannot retry him for this particular victim. He said of Constant, we know that the statute of limitations has passed for many of these victims. So now, even if they wanted to retry it, they already know the United States Supreme Court is not going to take it. This came directly from the judges on the Pennsylvania Supreme Court when they heard these arguments. You dig what I'm saying? So at this point, Bill is free. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, his rights were violated too. You know, right? Now, mind you, let's keep on going for a second. You have to understand how he was released. He had signed a non-prosecution agreement, okay, with the former district attorney, okay, who is, by the way, the impeachment attorney for Donald Trump, which is Bruce Castor. You did what I'm saying? So Bruce Castor basically told Bill, like, yo, look, flat out, Mr. Castor testified that there's insufficient evidence that'll be able to bring a criminal prosecution. He had given Mr. Cosby the insurance to encourage him to testify in the subsequent civil case brought by Ms. Constant. Again, people, ladies and gentlemen, he was already prosecuted for these charges under the civil case because he knew if he would have went to trial under the criminal law, it's her word against his because there's no evidence that would have been able to prosecute him except for him. That's the Fifth Amendment law. I will not incriminate myself. I have the right to remain silent on grounds that it may incriminate myself. I have the right to remain silent on grounds that it may incriminate myself. When you are asked these questions, you are allowed to exercise your Fifth Amendment right. Because you don't have to, you're not giving no one no power over you, no authority over you in that way to be able to say, oh, I got a confession. Well, you don't have nothing because I said to you several times, as you keep asking me the question, I refuse to talk on grounds that it may incriminate me. And the minute that you ask for an attorney, everything stops. So non-prosecution agreement is simply a sworn statement, right, by an alleged victim in a criminal case that expresses a desire to halt prosecution. Now, here's 5 reasons why a prosecutor will stop prosecuting the case. Lack of evidence, lack of resource, a first-time offender, victim witness does not come forward, and the willingness to cooperate, okay? So he already knew that Bill was a first-time offender, right? But here's the thing that made Bruce Castor not want to prosecute him: lack of evidence. Prosecutors have to have the high burden of proving beyond a reasonable doubt that you committed a crime. Even if it's likely that you committed a crime and there's some evidence linking you to the crime, it may not be enough to convict you. Instead, prosecutors need enough evidence to be almost certain that you're guilty. And without available evidence, prosecutors may drop the criminal case. So if you know you ain't do something, stick to your guns. Because a lot of times these guys be lying, and then at the end of the day, yo, it's a lot of lies that go on out here. So my question tonight is, how do you think that this particular ruling tonight affects, shout out to my man Big Pep, affects black men going forward? I'm going to tell you something right now. R. Kelly's case has not come up yet. And you better know one thing. Every state that got some on R. Kelly from here on out are trying to make sure they cross all the T's and they dot all the I's. Because guess what, man? He is the next man up on the plate. You dig what I'm saying? So, black men in America have been victims of due process for years, for prosecuting misconduct for years. Okay, hey, you look at the Central Park Five. Everyone that was involved in that case should have been sent to prison. Prosecution misconduct, lies, things that this goes on every day. And majority of these things affect black males in America. I'm not saying that black men don't commit crimes. I'm not going to say that. Okay? But there is no way 13% of the population, and we are 40% of the judicial system. There's no way. There's no way. No way. It's no way. You can't even tell me and convince me of that we commit all these crimes. And You have people out here that are that's not committing these crimes, and they're being falsely not just accused, but falsely imprisoned. Lifers, dudes that's been that's claiming they're innocent. They don't, people that lie on there commit murder. I think people that commit perjury catch a 5-year bid. I think they need to do the time that the person who they lied on. I think they should do their time. That's what I believe. I believe they should do their time and call it a day. I promise you. I believe they should do their time. Honestly, I think they need to do it because it makes no sense. It makes no sense for you to one moment that you know we are living in a time where we can't go back and look at these cases. So I'm definitely going to put that up. Man, Omar says, put up what he says right. He said, I'm thinking about folks incarcerated due to the high society they have to fight for his release. Basically, you have the OJ versus the no J. In most cases, many of us don't have the finances to defend ourselves. This is where part of the focus of criminal reform should be. Now, this is the other part of his statement that I'm looking at right now. Yeah, definitely. Oh, you feel what I'm saying? We need to make sure, and I gotta say, man, like, yo, if you got a guy that's locked up or a woman or a female that gets in trouble, whatever, yo, and you know that they didn't do the crime, then we gotta put resources behind that. I believe that, you know, you got the proper the prosecutor, then you got the public pretender. Okay, public pretender, you know he ain't fighting for you. You dig what I'm saying? So you already know this. So you gotta already go in there knowing this is what's going on. And then you can't have nobody come back to you bullying you, talking about, yo, you take this. No, we're not doing that because I didn't do anything. Now this is where I say to you, I have a right to a speedy trial, 90 days. I need y'all to get me in there in 90 days. You dig what I'm saying? So we're going to go ahead and cut all this. If you have an ironclad case, here goes 90 days. And we're not asking for no extension. Send me to prison if we going. If we going to trial, let's go. We going. Shout out to my cousin Debbie. How you doing this evening, Deb? You know what I'm saying? Love you to death, mama. Love you to death. So all I'm saying to you guys is this. Please understand that how this has affected so many people across the board. Okay, you know, families have been destroyed due to the fact that black males do not get they get mistreated under the due process amendment. They get mistreated under that. You dig what I'm saying? They get disrespected under the Fifth Amendment. They could be telling an officer 10,000 times, I am not saying anything to you. I refuse to speak on grounds that may incriminate myself. They don't say that till they blue in the face, and they'll just keep talking to them. You feel what I'm saying? Once a person says that, yo, game over. Game over. I know you got a job to do, officer, but yo, I'm telling you for a fact, I'm not talking to you. We are doing this. But you know, like I said, black men, you know, they've been affected by the lack of judicial representation because we don't have the finances, many of us, okay, to have this level of representation for ourselves. But this is why you got to pick up a book. This is the most important thing. If they want to hide it from us, you know where they're going to hide it. They're going to hide it in plain sight, right in the book. So here tonight, man, as I begin to wind this down, let me say this again. By no means, shape, or form do I condone the actions of Bill Cosby, any man who has admitted to sexual misconduct, abuse, sexual abuse, all that. I don't condone it whatsoever. Let me be clear. All right? Let me be clear. Because the pain of reliving those horrible moments for the victim definitely comes back and it rewinds. So now it's a whole new therapy that has to take place. So it's a lot of backlash from people not doing their job. Let's not focus on the fact that Bill said, yo, I did this. All right. Don't just focus on that. All right. Let's focus on the fact that this would never have come to the light that it has come to if the attorney, if the prosecutor who took over for Bruce Castor later on did not follow the agreement. That is what you need to look at. You knew that you wasn't supposed to prosecute this case under criminal law. You knew. So me personally, I'm suing the district attorney's office. I'm talking about the other victims. Matter of fact, I'm not even talking about the victims. I'm talking about Bill Cosby at this point. Bill, you need to sue the state. Period. I mean, you don't need the money, but you need to sue the state. You was prosecuted unjustly. You lost 3 years of your life with Camille, but could have possibly ended in divorce. But she held on, and I hope that things really work out for the brother. But for all you other people that are out there, you got your phones. Here, let me pull something out for y'all. Got your phones, things like that. Instead of taking time of being on IG and Twitter all day and one day, get something and put something into your brain so this stuff right here can register, man. You have got to stay up on the changing laws that are taking place every day. Okay? You gotta take up another hobby. It can't just be riding Instagram and Facebook, social media all day without being able to have an understanding or articulation of what you're reading and dealing with. You feel me? You can't do that. Because if you're doing that, yo, listen, man, you just continue to become the mindless dummies that they want you to become. Period. Flat out. So while you picking up your phone and you scrolling and you ha he, go girl, oh yeah, that bitch, oh man, that nigga ain't you feel what I'm saying? Stuff like that, you're doing all this. And cuz I'm not saying that it's not. I'm not saying that it's not. I'm not saying that Bill Cosby, like I said again, is right. I believe he is 110% wrong. I believe that he should have served. He should have gone to prison only at the time that if they didn't have the non-prosecution agreement, then we can sit up here and we can be like, yo, Bill messed up. Bill still messed up. His reputation is ruined. He can't come back from it. That's a fact. Okay? That's a fact in Hollywood. So the question for me to everyone else is that, again, we can go to the whole spiritual area, but, that has to be a conversation that you and I have, cousin. You feel what I'm saying? Just now coming back from those actions. Yeah, I get it. I get it again. What do you mean? Put that together for me, Deb, and I'll be able to put it up on the screen. I see you trying to say. I see your point. I just need for you to put it together. I'm trying to piece it together for you. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want nobody to think, like I said again, for one moment that I agree with that I am on the side of Bill Cosby of him to of condoning his actions. I don't condone the actions. He did what he did. The problem that I have is the fact that someone chose to be greedy and try to go for the slam dunk. Okay, but here's the thing: the NBA has player review. The Supreme Court, the appellate divisions, they have play review. And the play review is so critical that when they find out that something went wrong in the play, they got to overturn the play. And that's what happened. It happens in the NFL, happens in hockey, happens in all sporting events. You feel what I'm saying? I'm not saying that there's not a wrong that took place here. I'm not going to say that. You know what I'm saying? Under any other circumstances, without the non-prosecution agreement, without the civil suit, I know you're not going to agree Just saying his reputation is ruined for the things he did. Let me throw that up there, Deb. Here we go. Bam. Yeah, his reputation is big time ruined. You did what I'm saying? Like I don't even know how Bill coming out the house anymore. You know what I mean? That's real rap. You know what I mean? It's going to be hard for him. You know, and the thing is that he doesn't have to register as a sex offender. All that stuff has just been vacated. There's no record of Bill in the system anymore. There's none of that. You feel me? But now the question is, how is he going to live his life? The truth of the matter is that Bill may be in prison right now. Prison in the mind. You did what I'm saying? You know, whatever God got for Bill is going to be for Bill. You know what I'm saying? Whether he reap it, he'll whatever he sowed, he gonna reap. That goes with anybody. Maybe he may never sow it. Maybe he'll never reap it. Okay, on earth. He may reap it at the time of his death. He may reap it when he has to go see the Creator, when he's trying to get into heaven, when he's trying to get in the Jannah. You dig what I'm saying? So, you know, for people that know, when I talk about Jannah, I'm talking about heaven. For you know, when I speak about Jannah, I'm speaking about Islam. So for all my people that are Muslim on here, my brother O in the Middle East, you feel what I'm saying? When you try to get into heaven, you know what I'm saying? You know, you may have to face that. You know what I mean? Everybody will hold an account. You know, everyone to be held accountable. And just like Debbie says, again, they've accomplished their objective, ruined his reputation by his past actions. The bottom line, man, at the end of the day, I honestly believe, me personally, I believe that there was a conspiracy for Bill Cosby all along. You did what I'm saying? I believe that this conspiracy was so deep that because of the things that he was getting ready to do, they had to find this stuff. You know what I mean? They had to go deep for it. But that's another stuff. We're gonna leave that for another day. We're gonna talk about some things that we think of conspiracies on when it comes to certain individuals another time. But listen, man, that's my time. You feel what I'm saying? Like, share, love it. Let me know how you like it. Leave a comment, whatever. You did what I'm saying. You can catch the rerun on YouTube, www.youtube.com/Vince Paz. You catch it on FB. Rewind it if you want. You know what I'm saying? I'm on Twitch, www.twitch.tv, .com/Vince Paz. I'm on 3 platforms. And then, of course, you know what I do with the one voice, one mic. I will definitely have these all ready for you. I'm definitely behind. I'm so sorry. One man show. Love you all. Shout out to your family. Assalamu alaikum, my brother out there in the Middle East. You dig? And yo, I love all of you, man. My man Big Ed was in the building. Ed Henry was in the building. I don't know if he's still there. I ain't give him a shout out. You know what I'm saying? Oh, hey, Yolanda, how you doing? It was a hung jury, so they went there and they found more people to testify. Again, like you said, they went to find more people to testify. You feel me? Yo, Bill's lawyers was like, yo, I don't believe you. You need more people. Thanks, cuz. Hey, listen, man. Yo, the 4th of July is coming up. Everyone have a super safe weekend. You did what I'm saying. Shout out to everyone out there that's doing their thing. Man, for all you entrepreneurs that out there, I love y'all, man. Y'all keep doing what y'all doing. Like, tag this page. I'll be monetizing my pages soon. I'll be off IG pretty soon as well. So, yo, it's a lot of things that's happening for me right now. Like I told y'all, man, Vince Paz in the building, energy unmatched. Now it's time for the results. I'm going to talk to y'all later. I love y'all, man. Y'all have a great weekend. Peace. Hey. Let's go out with the theme music. You feel me? Let's get back to it. Let me know how you like it. All right, man. But talk to y'all later, man. I love y'all. All right. Peace.